there is a part of you that you have never fully met. It doesn't show up at dinner parties. It doesn't appear in your Instagram photos. It doesn't speak when you're being polite or professional or put together. But it's there. It surfaces in your moments of rage, in your irrational jealousy, in the things you judge most harshly in other people, in the dreams that leave you unsettled when you wake. Carl Jung called it the shadow. And understanding it, truly understanding it, may be the most important psychological journey you ever take. Welcome back to Enter Self, where we go inward so we can move forward. If you're new here, this channel is dedicated to helping you understand your mind, heal your inner world, and discover who you truly are. Today we're diving into one of the most profound concepts in all of psychology, Carl Jung's shadow self. By the end of this video, you'll understand what the shadow is, how it forms, how it secretly controls your life, and most importantly, what to do about it. Part 1. Who was Carl Jung? Before we talk about the shadow, let's briefly understand the mind behind it. Carl Gustav Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist and the founder of analytical psychology. He was initially a close colleague of Sigmund Freud, but the two eventually parted ways because Jung believed the human psyche was far more complex and spiritual than Freud was willing to explore. Jung spent his life studying the unconscious mind, dreams, archetypes, symbols, and the hidden forces that shape human behavior. And one of his most powerful discoveries was this, that every human being carries within them a hidden dimension of their personality. He called it the shadow. Part 2. What is the shadow self? So what exactly is the shadow self? In simple terms, the shadow is the unconscious part of your personality that contains everything you have rejected, suppressed, denied, or hidden about yourself. From the moment we are born, we begin receiving messages about who we are allowed to be. Don't be so angry. Stop crying. Be more confident. Be less loud. Good girls don't do that. Strong men don't feel that. Every time a part of us was rejected by our parents, our teachers, our culture, our religion, we didn't destroy that part. We buried it. We pushed it down into the darkness of our unconscious mind, out of sight, out of awareness. Jung called this the process of building the persona, the mask we show the world. And everything that didn't fit the mask became the shadow. But here's what most people don't understand. The shadow never disappears. It simply goes underground. And from there, it runs your life in ways you cannot see. Part 3. How the shadow controls you. This is where it gets deeply important. Because your shadow doesn't just sit quietly in the dark. It influences your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions, and your relationships constantly. Here are the most common ways your shadow shows up in everyday life. Number 1. Projection. This is the shadow's favorite trick. Whatever you cannot accept in yourself, you will see and despise in others. Do you have a strong reaction to arrogant people? You may have suppressed your own desire to be seen and celebrated. Do you judge people who are lazy? You may have buried your own need for rest. Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Number 2. Triggered reactions. When something causes a reaction in you that is disproportionate to the situation, that is almost always the shadow speaking. Your partner says one small thing and you explode. A colleague receives praise and you feel a rage you can't explain. Someone sets a boundary with you and you feel completely abandoned. These outsized emotional reactions are the shadow's way of saying, pay attention to me. Number 3. Self-sabotage. Many of our most destructive patterns, ruining relationships when they get too good, procrastinating on our most meaningful goals, pushing people away when they get too close, are shadow behaviors. The shadow carries our deepest wounds and our deepest fears. And when life gets too close to those wounds, it acts out to protect us. Part 4. The shadow is not evil. Now, here is the most important thing I want you to hear in this entire video. Your shadow is not your enemy. Our culture has conditioned us to see darkness as something to be feared, eliminated, or ashamed of. But Jung saw it very differently. He believed that the shadow contains not just our wounds, but our unlived potential. Inside your shadow lives the boldness you were told to suppress, the creativity that was called impractical, the sensitivity that was called weakness, the ambition that was called selfish. Jung wrote that the shadow is 90% pure gold. The parts of you that were rejected weren't rejected because they were bad. They were rejected because the people around you didn't know how to hold them. The goal is not to destroy the shadow. The goal is to integrate it, to bring it into the light, to reclaim those buried parts of yourself and make them whole. This process is what Jung called individuation, and it is the path to becoming your most complete, authentic self. Part 5. How to begin shadow work. So how do you actually begin working with your shadow? This practice is called shadow work, and it is one of the most transformative things you can do for your psychological and emotional well-being. Here are 4 entry points to begin. Step 1. Notice your projections. For the next 7 days, pay attention to what triggers a strong negative reaction in you about other people. Write it down. Then ask yourself honestly, is there any version of this quality that lives in me? Step 2. Sit with your triggers. The next time you have a disproportionate emotional reaction, don't act on it immediately. Pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, what old wound is this touching? What part of me is afraid right now? Step 3. Journal your shadow. Set aside 10 minutes each day to write freely about the parts of yourself you dislike, the things you're ashamed of, the qualities you hide from others. Without judgment, simply witness them. Step 4. Work with your dreams. Jung believed dreams were the language of the unconscious. If you start remembering and recording your dreams, you will begin to see your shadow speaking to you through symbols and imagery. Shadow work is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong practice of turning toward yourself with radical honesty and compassion. But every step you take toward your shadow is a step toward your wholeness. Carl Jung once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." We live in a world that celebrates the highlight reel, the polished version, the curated self. But true psychological freedom doesn't come from becoming more perfect. It comes from becoming more whole. It comes from turning toward the parts of you that have lived in darkness and saying, "I see you. I accept you. You are part of me too. Your shadow has been waiting for you, not to destroy you, not to shame you, but to complete you." And that journey, the journey inward, is exactly what Enter Self is here to guide you through. One video at a time. If this video opens something in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe to Enter Self for a new video every week. We're just getting started, and there is so much more to explore together. And if you missed our first video on the 7 signs you don't know who you really are, I'll leave it linked right here. Until next time, keep going inward. I'll see you on the other side.